Welcome to the Crystal Business Insider Podcast, where you will discover the story and some cool behind-the-scenes info from your favorite crystal business owners and wholesalers.
Hello, everyone. Stephanie here. I'm with Dallas Conkle today from The Giving Crystal. And it's not specifically a crystal shop. It's not specifically a crystal business. So I'll let you explain it. It's like this fun project that's 5 things in one. So I think I'll let you explain what it is exactly.
Yeah, you're feeling my pain right now because I'm trying to explain this thing to people all the time. And I'm like, well, it's and I'm a Gemini, and so I'm like, I have 50 things like going at once, and there's so many branches of this. So first off, thank you for having me here. This is super fun. And I really appreciate the work you're doing by spreading your awareness through this means here. So thank you for that. But yeah, so the way I kind of view the Giving Crystal as a whole is it's more of like a hub than like a crystal shop. Obviously, the focus is to sell crystals and crystals in general, but the intention behind all of it is to spread awareness of crystal energy, healing energy, the beauty of crystals, the amazingness of the science behind crystals, if you want to get nerdy about it. But really, the other intention is to spread awareness of self-healing modalities. So how you can use the crystals through meditation, how you can use the crystals with breathwork practices, with sound bath practices, all of which we do here at the Giving Crystal. This is very much a community project for me. So when I saw this, I was jumping in and out of live sales all the time with Instagram.
That's how we met. You're always we like the same type of crystals, I think, the same type of sellers as well. And I saw you on a few different live sales, and every time Dallas comes in, the person is like, "Oh, Dallas is in the house." It's really funny.
Yeah, I guess I'm just loud wherever I go. And it's funny because I'm loud and I don't even get a microphone. I have to like type. So I don't know how, yeah. So people call me, I call myself awkward sometimes because I just say whatever. But yeah, so that's kind of the idea is it's more of a hub for the community, because I want this to be like, I want community input. I want community activation. I'm going to be like, I have, the highlight reels on my page. Those are community highlight reels. So like altar spaces, we're going to let you guys showcase your altar spaces, and that will be posted in there, and your crystal grids and what they mean to you. That's all going to be showcased there because I want everybody to meet everybody. I was jumping in and out, and like we resonated with each other. You saw me and you said, "Hey, I want to reach out to this guy." As soon as you reached out, I was like, "I remember you," because I've battled you on some crystal sales before. And I'm like, "Oh, she got it." But so it's just like I was meeting all these cool people, but it seemed like the same kind of people were in each one and not too many crossovers. And it starts crossing over a little bit here and there. But I was like, man, all of these people in collectively are awesome. And they're all kind of saying the same stuff. They're all joking about the same stuff. It's not like this group's very this and this group's very this, so they might not be cool together. It was like, I was like, everybody's the same person, and we're all crystal nerds, and we're all loving this. And I've met some of my best friends in the last year and a half, and I've never met them face to face. I've talked to them, via FaceTime. One of them is designing all of the beautiful stuff that you see on my Instagram. She's a designer. I could not do any of that. She has taken my brain and sucked all my ideas out of it and put her little twist to it. And she's a genius, and she's a crystal nerd. And so like all of these things, like I have a crystal mentor through this stuff, and she's the one that provides me all my information and the wisdom on the metaphysical stuff. And so like I can't express, like I'm not getting emotional, but I can't express like how much like this community has meant to me. And I'm like, I think everybody should meet everybody, So that's, in a big, long, drawn out way, that's kind of what the idea is. It's just like a place to hang out and help each other heal. And the goal is to spread it, like I don't want to keep it. I want to spread it. Like I saw how many minerals came out of Brazil this last couple of months because everybody's freaking out because the Brazil stuff came in, and there's millions of crystals that came out. Like there's plenty of crystals to go around. So we should be spreading it out because, keep the big fancy ones. That's fine. But give the smaller ones away. Like the stuff you don't want anymore, like pass it out to your friends, give it as a
Yeah.
gift. So many people, like my kids went out and did it with me. You might have seen that the other night. We just go
Yeah,
out.
I wanted to talk to you about that. It's really important for you. We feel in the reel that you did, we feel so much how as a dad, it's important for you to transmit to them the giving part and the sharing and the going towards people and meeting them as well. Like
Yeah.
we can feel that's so important to you to transmit that to them and to make them experiment the community part, because I think that's something we've been lacking so much in the last few years, where we lost contact with everyone. Like we went into a cave for a while, and I think there's a need right now to meet people. Can you talk a bit about that, about your kids?
Sure, of course. Well, thank you so much for seeing that in me. Yeah, I'm super passionate about it, and obviously they see that, and they're very passionate about it as well. They start knowing different things, different crystals. Oh, hey, you might need a blue one for your, your communication or whatever. So they're
That's
super
cute.
And obviously I kind of have an extrovert like me, my daughter, who will go up to anybody. And then I have my son who's a little more introverted, but he definitely like warms up kind of to the situation. So it's been cool. Like the social part of it's been interesting. And you're right, like integrating back into life has been kind of weird. And this is almost like a social experiment for me now that I've seen it, because we went out into a very public place. We did it, and to see people's reactions when they get approached by somebody, and we were approaching people very calm, and it was interesting to see the different reactions and then see it melt away though, as soon as you presented them something and they knew it was free too, because I did notice like a lot of them probably thought my kids were trying to sell them chiclets or something. Like, oh, I don't want crystal because you're gonna try to charge me here soon. So yeah, we had to really hone in. We actually had to make a strategy. We had to strategize like how we're gonna do it, who the best people were as far as like how they were acting, because if they were walking straight at us and we were passing them, it was really hard to stop and talk because it kept going. So we would approach people that were going the same way, but we found out the best people to approach, the employees of the stores, because they're bored and they don't want to be at work. And so they will accept your crystal and they will talk to you about the crystal, and they are so stoked that they are not working right now. So every single employee will accept the crystal. So if you're nervous and you take a kid and they're nervous, take them to the employee. So that's what my son did. He did it on his own. He's like, hey, I'm gonna go in this store and do this one. And that's how he started, because I figured it out. I was like, this is who we get, guys. And so that was cool. And then they give crystals away to their friends for birthday presents and stuff. They have toys too. It's not like there's like the weird kids,
no toys in the house, just crystals.
But if some kid did that, they'd be like, that kid's the cool kid, but and then the only other thing like with that is I think one of the things that we're trying to spread with awareness, and this is one of my mini Gemini branch things, is a children's kind of section. And that's going to, like, I already have some development going of some stuff. Can't talk about it, but there's some children's stuff coming, and the awareness to children, though, that's really like, that's one I want to hit home, because a lot of the crystal awareness, but for me, I want to use the crystals to get in with them, to teach them more about therapy and talking to people, and to teach them about how it's okay to feel your feelings and all the things in meditation. Like my kids are doing yoga, and their mother is, she's great with this stuff. She gets them into yoga. She gets them into this place where they do meditations there too. And they like the crystals and stuff. So I'm like, we're very blessed that our kids are so exposed early. We both go to therapy, so they've seen both of us, even though we're not together, they've still seen us walking the same path as far as like, we're taking care of ourselves, we're doing our thing, and we're working from the inside out. And they know what that is. We'll be like, hey, I got, an hour, I gotta have therapy. And they're like, oh, cool. How, how's, they tell her name and they say, hey, how's she doing? And so it's just like a normal thing. And I want that to be normalized to children. So that's a big deal for us as well.
That's so interesting, because the earlier they see that it's normal, that it's not weird to ask for help, and that it's not weird to want to feel better, and that it's not weird to feel emotions and let them come out. And no, it's so basic, but sometimes they just don't get to be allowed to go through that and to understand that. So that's really nice to have a part of that project. And they see also the business part of it. They also get to experience you being in business and what it means and how it can evolve in a way that's really passionate, that it's not just for the money, and it's not just, or we're going to buy this and we're going to sell it and we're going to make a profit and that's it. They're going to see that there's another way to create a job, to create a passion in their life that's really aligned to whatever they like. It might not be crystal for them later on, but sure, they might as well. Who knows? How did the crystal arrive in your life? When did it happen? Is there a moment that you remember? Or
Sure. So 1985, the day I was born, May 20. No, as far back as I can remember as a kid, I was very interested in rocks, and especially geodes, specifically like geodes and amethysts. And so I would always ask for the ones that you could cut open and break open. I specifically remember, and I could see it like it was that day, and I couldn't tell you how old I was. If I had to guess, I'd say 7-ish or 8 maybe. And in Laguna Beach, there is this crystal shop, and it's huge. And I walked by, and this giant amethyst was like 20 feet into the shop, right in the front, big cathedral cave. And I didn't know what was happening at the time, but now that I can look back and reflect, like I fully was being like called by that thing. And I was like mesmerized, and I just stood there and I was staring at it. And my mom's like, do you want to go in the store? You know, it's kind of like, it was just kind of like a weird thing. And she was like, that was interesting. Like, you really felt like you really wanted to go in that store. So, and we did. And she was like, you just would sit there forever and just stare at these rocks. And I didn't know what was happening. I just thought they were pretty. And I just always wanted to be around them. And then they kind of phased out as, you know, children kind of move on with stuff. And I had kind of a jumping around childhood. So I had a couple probably left, but not until about 3 or 4 years ago, they kind of came back into my wherewithal through some spirituality stuff and some stuff going on in my life. And then it just kind of, I kind of got back in, I like got into a rock shop, and I was like, oh, wow, this is, you know, and then things started feeling really familiar to me. A lot of just like old feelings, calm feelings, just really like comforting stuff. And so it really, I felt like really called to them again, just to explore them and start kind of a collection, a small collection. And then
yeah, a small one.
So, you know how that goes as crystal nerds, we don't stop. But then I started getting this idea of like, hey, there's not too many shops around here, and I want to do sound baths. And so maybe I'll take the crystals to sound baths, and I found a couple of live sales where they were selling lots for like $100, and you got like 50 pieces or 100 pieces. And it's like, cool, I can do that. I'm not going to sell 100. I'm not going to give away 100 pieces that quick, because my sound baths are like 5 people, you know? So it's like, that'll last a long time, and I'll give them for free. That's a cool little gift. And then I was like, that feels good, you know, when I did it. And then that's kind of where the idea started. And then from there, it just kind of exploded, because it was just like a real passion project of mine. As soon as it really flourished in me, I usually will use as a Gemini, like quick little 2-week, 3-week, like, hey, I want to be an astronaut. Hey, I want to be a bullfighter. Hey, I want that, you know, it's like, I want this. I want to try this. I want to try everything. I just want to try it most of the time. And then once I try it, I'm like, cool, I tried it, not for me.
Been there, done that. Next thing.
Cool. I tried it. I ruled it. I was awesome. I conquered it. Most of the time I did, but it's just what I want to do. But this has been consistent, and I just keep staying the course with this, and I feel very passionate and called to do it.
It's consistent, but at the same time, this is something I teach my clients. You created your own playground, basically. You gave yourself the space to continue to explore whatever comes up, because right now you're doing sound bath, and you're doing meditation, and you're doing healing, and giving away crystals and buying crystals. But maybe tomorrow something else will come. But because the hub is a hub, you'll be able to be yourself and just explore whatever else comes up, which is so nice to be in business this way, because we can do one thing for 6 months and then concentrate on something else. Not about jumping around and just doing nothing meaningful. It all adds up, but it's really interesting to build that space and to be also surrounded with people who are like-minded. I love this industry for that. It's so rare where you see people who are being so friendly towards each other, even when they're competitors. Like that's not a word I use in, in my business or in my life, but it's like you can be friend with other people selling crystal and nobody's like, I'm not telling you anything, I don't want you to steal my secrets, and people are sharing info, and it's really fun. It's a really nice industry for that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm obviously just breaking in. I mean, the Giving Crystal LLC has been around for a month, I think. But yeah, that's been the biggest help, has been all of my crystal friends in shops, the salespeople, all the people that help them behind the scenes, like the people even that do the invoicing and packaging. Like I talk to them a lot on the side too, just to be like, hey, how's that going? What's this? And they'll ask me questions, you know. So like I built really, I mean, and that's like you said, it's like everybody just resonates with everybody. But I wonder if it's this. Is it because they're surrounded by crystals?
It's a good question. It's yeah, it's the vibe, yeah, the energy behind it.
That person is in all of us, and I kind of think the crystals bring those things out of us more, that resonate, that like our essence, you know, and our essence is so beautiful. It doesn't matter what your essence is. It's like the most beautiful part of you. It's like your most raw, authentic part, and I think the crystals like help bring that out, especially for me, at least, you know.
Is this why you feel it's really powerful to mix crystal with sound bath or with breath work, like mixing those two intentionally? That's why you're passionate about that part of it.
Yes, yeah, for a couple of reasons. For one, for the metaphysical part of it, I think you can go deeper, like blue or agonite gets you. We want to use that when we have clients in, where we want to open them up a little bit more to or quicker even to being more vulnerable, to being more just ready to receive. So we're trying to use that energy for that. So it's like it all kind of coincides, but then also because this maybe crystal brought them to me, this crystal I can now talk about for that reason, and brought them into this world of sound baths that they never knew about. So it's like I don't care if they come to me for the sound baths. I don't care if they come to me for the crystals. I just want them to know about them. And if they find a sound bath DJ dude that's like, this is my jam, that's my dude, great, go do it. Heal yourself. That's all I care about, wherever you are. I just don't want people doing stupid stuff to themselves and be just like living sad and all that kind of stuff. Because you don't have to, and you shouldn't, because nobody deserves to. So, and I think that everybody is very worthy. And I have, you know, my friend tells me all the time, my girlfriend tells me all the time that her biggest mission is to make people realize how worthy they are, because they are so worthy. And I think I want to like support that mission, because I think that's at the end of it, like that's kind of like what my mission was, but it said a more beautifully, a beautiful way.
It makes people shine so much when they can touch that. It's funny that you mentioned that, because that's what I wrote under one of your reel last week or something, about a client had that during our coaching session, where she touched to her own worthiness. It's in every industry. It's so fascinating, especially when a healer touches it. She can help, or he can help so many more people when they get how powerful they are and how they can use it for good and not for bad. People are sometimes scared to be powerful because they think they're going to turn evil, or they're going to turn bad, or it's going to be like all this weird stuff happening, but it just amplifies who you already are. So basically when you see your worthiness, it just amplifies the beauty in you. So it makes so much more impact on like everyone else around. So yeah, that's a really nice mission to have, and to combine. I find it very interesting that you combine all those things together, because maybe I wouldn't have been attracted to sound bath, but because I like crystal, I can go, makes sense to play with it and just discover it and see, and it might go, wow, this is changing my life. And for other, it's going to be the grids. I love the grids. I never played with them. They're so much fun. It's yeah, so it's nice. And where do you plan on taking the project? Is it something you want to keep as a side project, or is it something that you see growing and making like your life project, or it's too soon to know? What's your
I don't
vision?
like to stress myself out too much right now, because I actually own and operate 2 other companies.
Okay.
I have my bread and butter, my thing is I own a construction company down here in Orange County, California. And so that's like my main thing. And my family's had this business for a long, long time, like 40 years. So I own and operate it now. I would love, like, yes, definitely to still work there, because I've been there for 22 years and I've helped build that to what it is now, which is like 3 times bigger than what it was when I started. Wow. So I'm very like, that's definitely my baby. So I definitely won't walk away from that, but definitely want to get it to a place where I have more of a consulting, managerial, not having to do the day-to-day everything kind of roles, because right now I kind of do everything. And then yes, definitely want to focus more on this kind of stuff, because this is what I'm passionate about, and life is only so long, and I'm only 38 now for the rest of this year and a little bit of next year, and then that's it. And so I want to do this while I'm young, and I want to take this where it can go, and I want to be open to whatever happens. And if this stopped all one day, I would be happy that I got the opportunity to do it, and that I met the people I met, and I know that I'm not going to lose those people, you know, that kind of thing. So I'm in a good spot of I just want to help people, and it helps me not be about the money. That's why I like having my job right now. Because I bet you if I quit my job right now and it became about the money, the content might be different. My message
it changes the energy if you're stressed about it's if you start a business and you're stressed about paying for food and shelter, it's different when you approach a client.
And sometimes that's good, you know, too. Sometimes that's what people need to get the fire under them, but this thing has lit me up so much. I'm fired up. So I'm good.
And you can link the two easily. You can now give a huge statement piece to every house you build. And so when people come in, so then you can buy some more stuff, and you know, it becomes an expense in the other company.
Well, it's funny because I've already broke out with a couple clients on rocks. You know, I show up and I'm like, that's a pretty nice smoky cluster you got over there. They're like, wait, what? And then you're like, okay, we're in, you know. And so I've exchanged rocks with clients before already. So it's been fun. That's the thing. It's just like when you bring it up, man, people they're either one of a couple of things. They're either really like, don't talk to me about that, I'm too religious, like you're the Satan, or they're like behind the door curious, like what you said, Crystal, you know. Or they're like yeah, there's like an amethyst, right? There's like the third one, and they know some names, and then they kind of are like, oh yeah, because I got the rose quartz, that one, you know, and they got the one, and they're just getting ready. And then you got us who are just like, later, you know. You're just like, those are the levels you're at. So honestly, dude, I started at 1. I was raised at like a Pentecostal Christian. I lived with my grandparents, people running up and down the aisle, screaming and hooting and hollering. And so that's what I was like raised on, because they were pastors, and I grew up in their house. So I was a pastor's kid forever. And to me, like, that was witchcraft. There was even a play we did where somebody was swinging a pendulum, and it was like this whole thing about demons, and I'm like, damn. So that's where I came from. And it's funny, you know, if I was like 7 years ago, 5 years ago, maybe even probably about 7 years ago, me would have been like, no, I would never do that, you know, I won't touch that, you know. So I wasn't all, you know, I was all in the world.
And now you're like, I want to touch it. Come on, bring me the piece. I want to see the energy.
My socks, and wherever you can put them on. Like, come on. Yeah. So, and the family's eased up a little bit on it. They've realized that it's, you know, I'm not worshiping Satan, so that's good.
You're safe now. They can still see you at Christmas.
I'm actually trying to make people feel better. Is that okay? You know,
but I think that's an interesting point. When people see that it's only about healing in a general sense, not with strict rules coming. It's not, I want you to heal only this way because that's the only way to do it. It's more like, here are different modalities. Let's play with them. Let's see which one resonate. If it helps, good. If it doesn't, fine as well. Then people calm down a little bit. They see that you don't want to indoctrinate them in something, or
100%. And the beauty of all of that, what you just said, is all of what you just said is the journey of it and the time that you took to do all of that. And all of a sudden you're 4 years down the road, 5 years down the road, and you're like, oh, I've been too busy to working on this and learning about this modality. What my breathwork facilitator trainer told me was, you take these things that you're learning, and this is what I did. I didn't do these trainings at first. Like I learned Reiki, I learned sound baths, and I learned breathwork facilitating. Before I decided I wanted to do it, I did it for myself because I wanted something to keep me busy. I wanted to learn more about why and the inside of it, like not just like, hey, Reiki is this and I feel great, but like why? How are you doing it? What energies? Like how are you calling it in? Like, is this good for me? And so those things, though, that took me a couple months. This took me a couple months, and so it was like all of this journey that I had. I met new people, and I got all these different practices, and so I can take them. And it's like this one. I'm not a big fan of yoga. I'm trying to be a yoga person. So I have that practice. I've done it a bunch. So, but that's on the shelf up here. And maybe I'll call that back in one day in my life. But the dope thing is I've got it here now and I can call it back in. And so you can explore so many, and I don't want to limit the what we do here to just the couple that I do now, because I'm always exploring. So this is as much of a like, hey, if you've got something to share it. I want to learn all of it. I'm open to anything, just not like cult stuff.
And just like you're also bringing like an artist to do your visuals. I did the exact same thing with the logo for my podcast. I found someone who does acrylic painting of rocks, and I bought the rights to one of her image for the logo. And I thought like it's so interesting because most of us start those businesses as a sideline to something else. So there's all these types of knowledge that people have as well that comes together. It's very interesting. So where do people connect with the Giving Crystal? Is it mostly Instagram? For now it's Instagram, but is there other platforms you intend to build, or you're going to concentrate there?
Yeah, so no, we're going to be kind of on the majority of the main ones. So I even like opened it up. I did not sign up yet, but I opened up the TikTok. I don't know. And that's just for me too, because I'll get lost in that thing. I see people on that thing all the time, and I'm like, man, I might sit there forever. So I intentionally haven't downloaded it ever until like today. So that will happen. But we have a website already purchased. We're just in building the website. I believe it's going to be the givingcrystal444.com. If I remember right, it was written on a board over there, but I erased it. So I'll have to go look at some emails. But and Instagram's the main way though for now. Mainly the Giving Crystal. Obviously, I have my personal one too, but I'm trying to filter everything into the Giving Crystal and kind of. I don't even want to operate. It's so hard operating too, but I have so many people from the sound bath side of things. So I'm still doing the lives. Yeah,
it's okay to keep your own identity as well on the side, but for friends and family and it's always complicated, but it's good to have a variety of platforms, because I feel that if you have just one platform, it's like literally giving the key of your company to somebody else, because they can close your account for like no reason. You have no word to say. And so if you're just in one place, it can be very scary. So it's good to have it. We always like more one of the platform than the other, and we tend to spend more time there, and it's fine. But to at least reserve the name on the other ones. So this way, like if ever you want to build it later on down the road, like for YouTube or stuff like that, you have it already, and then you just do it. The website is cool as well, because there you can get the emails. That's the other part that's interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of the general kind of hub. And then we got the YouTube's coming, we got that going. So we're working on it. And if you have outside of this, if you have any other spots, you're like, hey, you should go here and sell it, whatever. I'm all ears. I'm so fresh. I'm like, hey, let's do this. I just bought my my shipping printer and all that stuff, so it should be here tomorrow. And like now that the label stuff's here, because I'm not selling crystals yet. I'm selling crystals probably end of July is when the sales will start, and we'll have a general live sale. So we'll always have one live sale a week, just your kind of run of the mill That's not very accurate.
Yeah, I would be surprised that it's irrelevant.
I'm sorry. I almost discredited myself. I'm gonna have a live sale. That's gonna be a live sale. That's what you're kind of used to, with some weird stuff. And then I'm gonna have a sound bath like I normally do with the grid. But the grid will be for sale.
Oh, cool.
So I still have to figure out how I'm going to facilitate that and how that works, but that's the second one. I think that one's kind of dope because there will be limited crystals. There will be crystals though that were charged with that grid and that grid intention from that sound bath. So I think that's a really cool little add-on there. So that'll be once a week. And then I think once a month, I want to do kind of more of like a statement piece talk show. And I'm going to have a guest. I want it to be in person. So it's not all this, weird back and forth trying to do it. And it needs to be live because we want to sell it. So we want to sell crystals. So it'll probably just be right here. And we'll probably sit across from each other at this table and just have a chat about whatever they do. And in the meantime, we'll slowly bring out crystals. Like we'll be like, this Messina copper mine, giant quartz, like some of the oldest in the world. And then we'll talk about it for a long time, and they'll tell us about their life and their journey and all that stuff. And then I'll be like, all right, well, that piece is blah blah. And then just like a normal life sale, whoever does it first, we might throw an auction in there, but that will be a slower sale. Again, it's not fully about the sales, it's more about the fun. And so I'm exposing them to whatever this person's modality is. I'm going to have people come in for plant medicine. I'm going to have people come in, have you come in and explain how you do it, how you keep people and all that fun stuff. So a little bit of everybody. I want people to come to me and be like, hey, this is what I do. I love to express it. And if it kind of resonates with, I think, the community, and I'm going to have a couple people kind of help me pick and choose as well if it gets overwhelming. But I'm gonna just be open to whatever. I'm not gonna just be like, hey, that's not what I feel, so I'm not gonna have you on. Like I'll have opposite views and stuff like that, but more than likely, because this show is what it is and it's about this stuff, it's probably gonna be all fun and games, and it's gonna be just lighthearted, and it's gonna be a lot of people learning, but not really realizing they're learning. That's kind of and then hopefully people go home and then take it to somebody else, so.
Yeah, it's another part that's so nice about selling crystal is that you can be so creative about it. It's not like selling widgets. Even with widgets, you can be creative, but because there's an energy behind the crystal, people get drawn to specific ones and not at all to others. And they if you watch a lot of live sales, you see so many different ways to do it, which is really fun. Some of them are boring as and to yourself, and then another one you're like, wow, this is so cool. Another one is like, whoa, okay, this is too crazy for me. And they all get their own client base, and I like that. I think it's so funny to see how people express themselves in the live sales itself.
Oh, totally. Yeah. It's gonna be fun for me because it's so new. I'm obviously, I'll have this first one done, and then I'll probably watch it back a year from now and be like, oh my God, what was I I'm already doing that with the sound baths. I'll watch back from like 6 months ago, and I've got like my phone duct taped to the ceiling fan, hanging down, just because I don't have a phone holder, and I'm just like I have 3 bowls. Yeah,
because the guy is buying statement piece at like $5K a pop, but he can't afford a tripod.
Well, I didn't have this stuff. I was like, I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And then I was like, I'm going to go there. And I was like, oh, well, I'm going to need to, where should I put my phone? I don't go like, hey, what do I need to do this? I go, I'm going to do this. And then I go do it. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to need some stuff. And so while I'm in it, I'm like, well, I got to figure this out now. And so that's how I like to work there. I like to be on the fly.
But it's fun to do it that way, because the other people who do it the other way around, they try to think so much about every detail before they try anything that they can spend 6 months trying to determine like the right angle for the light and the right tripod to hold the phone in the right place. And during that, they try nothing. So you get so much further when you just try stuff and it's totally a mess, but people find it funny when you don't take yourself seriously. Like we can feel that you're a serious person, like you know what you're doing, but you're funny, you don't take yourself seriously, and that people can feel it, and that's what's fun when you just go at it and you try stuff, and people just play along with you that when you do it that way, and it's okay. They don't see, oh, look at it, he didn't have a tripod, what a loser. Like, people don't see that. They just find it really funny that you did that, and that's totally fine.
Yeah. My first I think it was my first 4 or maybe even 5. I think it was only 4 Instagram lives. All of them shut off. Oh, just like that. As I said that, that's hilarious. There we go. Oh, we got a short here. We got a short. There we go. Well, cameras, technology. See, there we go. But no, so they all, like, every single one cut out. Some of them cut out the noise, and just my video was playing, and some of them cut out fully. And I had no way to tell. So I was like fully going, sound bathing it up. And then I'd go over there and the phone would just be off. And I'm like, or, it'd just be like, oh, hey, so-and-so. I'm like, oh, shoot, and then people I'm like, hey, when did it go off? They're like, oh, hey, right when you turned around to walk back to the sound bowls. I was like, so I did a whole sound bath and you heard nothing. They're like, nope, not one bowl. And I'm like, so it's been fun.
So you learned to have a friend there who's watching and making sure everything goes all right.
My kids, yeah. I have my kids. I have a couple backup plans. It's luckily it hasn't happened. So, and I think it's just because where I was at. Now that I'm like thinking about it, like the energies of like the house I was in before, it was like not serving me there. And so I think I'm at it. I should have just, it's trying to be like, hey, you need to go. So here I am in a non-electronically infected area. So,
well, any last word before we wrap this up? And I'll give the information on where to follow you, of course, below with the show notes and everything. But I'll give you the last word on the show. What do you want to share with people?
Well, first off, thank you so much. And you guys keep watching whatever she's doing. And I would just share that if you have extra crystals that you want to give away to somebody, I would just recommend go trying it out. Be a little bit daring and just go make somebody smile. You can even add it with somebody's tip. You could be like, oh, here, thanks for your service. You've been really cool. And you actually did such a great job and you resonated with me. Here's like an amethyst or something like that. And just makes people so happy. And then smile at people, and you never know what people are going through, and love yourself. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. This was fun.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Crystal Business Insider Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe so you never miss a show. And if you are a crystal business owner, reach out at crystalbusinessinsider.com to book your interview.